Ethan Carter is a 22-year-old college student trying to balance his faith with the pressures of modern life. His best friend Jake is the opposite, carefree, reckless, and unconcerned with God. While Ethan has been taught to live a holy life, he finds himself constantly pulled into situations that test his convictions, parties, relationships, and compromises that make him question if he's truly living for God. One night, Jake convinces Ethan to come to a party. Though hesitant, Ethan goes, but he doesn't drink or participate in anything sinful. As the night progresses, Jake, intoxicated, makes a reckless decision to drive home. Ethan pleads with him to stay, but Jake laughs it off. The next morning, Ethan receives the devastating news. Jake has been in a fatal accident. Shaken by the loss, Ethan spirals into guilt. Could I have done more? Did Jake know God before he died? The weight of his friend's death leads Ethan to seek answers in the Bible, and he stumbles upon 1 Thessalonians 4. The verses about living a holy life and not grieving like those without hope resonate deeply with him. God always provides a way of recovery. And one of his favorite ways to help us get through grief is by encouraging us to comfort others. Jesus said in Matthew chapter 5 verse 4, "Blessed are those who mourn, for they will be comforted." Another thing to remember is that God has a plan for you in the midst of intense grief and pain. He loves you and promises to bring you healing. The promise of comfort is a direct reference to God's nature as the God of all comfort, who provides solace and strength in times of trouble and sorrow. Guided by his pastor and a renewed faith, Ethan begins making changes. He distances himself from toxic influences, rededicates his life to Christ, and starts mentoring younger believers. He also reaches out to Jake's grieving family, sharing the hope of resurrection in Christ. Months later, Ethan is invited to speak at a youth event. Nervous, he shares his testimony, how he wavered between two lives, lost a friend, and realized that living to please God is not about legalism, but about love, purpose, and eternal hope. His message impacts many, including a young man who reminds him of his former self. Ethan served as a camp counselor at Water's Edge Camp in Howell, Michigan during the summer, where he found peace and comfort in working as a counselor during family camp. His role involved guiding the children in learning more about Jesus, which not only enriched their spiritual journey, but also provided Ethan with a sense of purpose as he navigated his own grief. Through this experience, he deepened his faith and understanding of God's love, fostering a supportive environment for both the campers and himself. As Ethan leaves Water's Edge, he looks up at the sky, recalling God's promise. For the Lord himself will come down from heaven with a loud command, with the voice of the archangel and with the trumpet call of God, and the dead in Christ will rise first. After that, we who are still alive and are left will be caught up together with them in the clouds to meet the Lord in the air, and so we will be with the Lord forever. With peace in his heart, he knows he is truly living to please God.